Hey guys, today we're going to be checking out the 40-liter version of the Goruck GR2. This is also the Slick edition, which they did as a collaboration with Huckberry. And I've been a fan of the GR2 for many years now. It's one of my go-to travel packs. I've featured the 34-liter on the channel a few different times, and their 26-liter, which is a little bit of a newer bag. I really love the layout and the quality of Goruck's bags. And I was definitely curious with how much more I would be able to hold in this 40-liter version. This is a little bit bigger than what I typically travel with when I'm moving around with one bag. However, over a few recent trips, I've really enjoyed having some extra capacity, particularly if I'm going somewhere that's colder, when I have to pack in a bulkier winter outfits, or if I just want to take an additional pair of shoes. It's always nice to have some extra flexibility. So I was excited to have a chance to test this version out. And I've been using it for a couple of weeks. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my experience testing it. I'll show you how I've loaded it out, walk through all the features, and I'll also talk about how it compares to some of the other similarly sized travel bags that are currently on the market. Before jumping into the video, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel, we love talking about popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing, as it helps the channel out a lot. And I also want to give a shout out to Huckberry, as they provided the bag for this review and a few of the pieces of gear that you'll see throughout the video. I've always been a big fan of Huckberry. Many of the bags that have been featured on this channel were purchased via Huckberry. They have great customer service, easy return, and a great selection of travel and EDC gear, so make sure to check them out. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the outside of the bag, if you've seen some of my other videos on the GR2 in the past, the aesthetic here will feel pretty familiar. The biggest differences are that you don't have any molle webbing on the front or sides of the bag. You also don't have the Velcro patch that is common on many of Goruck's bags. And so you do lose a little bit of that ability to customize the bag and some of the functionality from the webbing, where sometimes I would attach things with a carabiner or pair with molle compatible pouches. But the trade-off is that you get a really nice, clean, minimal aesthetic that's going to allow you to blend in very well into any environment. I think this is a really great benefit of this style, particularly for traveling. You never really want to stand out or look too much like a tourist, and so I really like just the clean style of this bag. I think it works very well for any type of traveling. Moving into the materials, the bag is very ruggedly built. The fabric here is 1000D Cordura. I've had multiple Goruck bags with this fabric, and they have held up very well over the years, which is super important for kind of a larger long-term travel bag like this. You're able to hold a ton of stuff, so it's going to get weighed down. It is a heavier bag, as Goruck's bags tend to be, but you do get a lot of value as far as the trade-off in quality there for that additional weight and kind of ruggedness. With a bag like this, where I might be traveling for weeks or a month or even longer on end, you really want something that you don't have to worry is going to tear on you or fail in any way when you have all of your vital stuff during your trip. So really like this 1000D Cordura. It feels a little bit more broken in than some of my other Goruck bags, so that's been nice to see. It's a little more comfortable right out of the box. This fabric, Goruck says, is also rain resistant, so it's not a waterproof fabric by any means, but it does offer enough protection if you happen to get caught in some lighter rain. You also have some rain flaps over the zippers, and then some awesome YKK zippers all throughout. Moving into the capacity, the bag comes in at 40 liters, which is a little bit larger than what I would normally use for one bag travel, but that was part of the appeal of this particular version of the bag, was that extra capacity. This is definitely the type of bag that I almost feel like I could live out of and pack out for many months, particularly if I was washing and doing laundry. It can really hold a lot of stuff. It feels taller and larger overall than the 34-liter version of the GR2. There's a pretty clear difference in the size that you'll see with the items that I was able to pack out. But I like that even though it's a large bag and it can hold a lot, it didn't feel overwhelmingly big. It didn't really stick out as much as a large bag like this could potentially, so it still felt like I was able to blend into a more crowded environment, jump onto public transit, and carry on to most domestic and international airlines. Taking a look at the straps and the back paneling, so far the bag has been really comfortable to wear. In the past, I've had a hard time breaking in Goruck straps, so I was very excited to see that these ones felt just a little bit softer out of the box. So right away the bag felt really nice, and Goruck's straps are unusual in that they seem to get more comfortable the heavier the bag is for some reason, and so great to see that here. Really thick padding, very robust, not a ton of breathability on the inside, but that's something that kind of comes with the territory with Goruck bags. You have plenty of width here to help prevent the bag from digging into your shoulders. And then I really love how reinforced all the stitching is on the straps. So even if you're carrying a lot of weight for a longer period of time, you never have to worry about these straps failing on you. Another interesting note on the straps is that you don't have any sort of molle webbing here, so it may be tricky to add a sternum strap, which might be nice to have with this larger bag. So Goruck does offer their SCARS program where you can send bags in to customize and add additional features if you do want to add in the webbing or make some changes. Might have been nice to have that and sort of be included considering the size of the bag, but it does match up a little bit better with the kind of cleaner and slick aesthetic that the company was going for here. Moving into the back pilling, this has also felt pretty comfortable, very similar to other Goruck bags, so you have a nice amount of padding that's distributed all throughout. The material here is not the most breathable, as Goruck's bags tend to not have any sort of air mesh or anything like that, since they're meant to go into so many different kind of rucking type environments. But you do have some elevation and air channels here to provide you with a little bit of ventilation and airflow while you're walking around. Jumping into the organizational options, the GR2 has a pretty legendary pocket layout. I've really enjoyed using it over the years. Starting up on the front, you have the simple slanted quick access zipper compartment. This one can sometimes be a little bit tricky to use when the bag is more packed out. It's nice that with the 40-liter capacity, you have a little bit more kind of flexibility here. As you can see, it doesn't come up a ton, so it's definitely meant to be more for those flatter items that you might be grabbing a little bit more regularly during your trip. So in my case, what I currently have here is my iPad mini with a case. It was able to fit in there pretty comfortably. And then I don't have anything else in there at the moment, but always a good spot to also toss in my phone, my wallet, and maybe my keys while going through TSA. On the back of the bag, you have the bomb-proof laptop compartment. So Goruck always does a good job of offering a protective area for your devices. It has the same sort of half opening here on the back that allows you to grab your laptop while going through TSA. You do have to move the straps out of the way to get into the compartment. And then with this 40-liter version, you really have a ton of space here for a 15 or 16-inch laptop. Currently what I have in there is a 13-inch MacBook Pro, but you can see it's kind of swallowed up by the compartment. You have a false bottom on the compartment, so if you happen to place the bag down a little bit harder, your device is going to be protected. And pulling that device out, now the compartment empty, you can get a better look at the inside. And so it comes up enough to be able to hold maybe a thicker laptop. You also have the ability to remove the frame sheet if you don't want to keep it in there, or if you need to clean the bag. If you use it for rucking or anything like that, you can probably store a pretty large ruck plate in here as well. But for me, I just use it for my laptop, and it does a really good job at keeping my device safe. The next compartment we're going to take a look at is, to me, kind of the killer feature on the GR2 line of bags, which is this clamshell style kind of admin or secondary main compartment. This is super awesome to have this area be a clamshell style compartment, so you can really take full advantage of the space that's offered in here. And there's also plenty of internal organization here so that you can keep your stuff easily accessible. In this section here, the first thing I want to call out is that there's kind of this bulge happening here, and that is due to the fact that I really packed out the main compartment of this bag with an impressive amount of stuff, as we'll see in a second. So, it does share a little bit of volume. You'll have to strategize with how you use this space, but this is an area where I still probably could have laid a flatter pouch or jacket. And the way that the pockets are laid out, you do just kind of have to think through how everything is organized so that you can get the most effective use out of the space. But I really love the number of options that are provided here. First up, I just laid this DOP kit here, which is the DOP kit that I've been testing out recently. This is the Mystery Ranch Spiff kit. This is the small edition, which is kind of an ideal size for me. I really like simpler DOP kits. I'm always looking for ways to kind of minimize and find smaller ways to reduce my toiletries. And so this one here offers just a really cool small footprint. It opens up clamshell style, and then on the inside it has a really simple organizational layout with some kind of water resistant compartments here to keep everything dry. And then you have one area with some slots for any liquids that you might be carrying with you. I have a foldable comb in there. Then you have a little slot to hold something like a razor or your toothbrush, and then another larger compartment for any bigger items that you need to carry with you. So really nice layout and design on this, very durable materials, and definitely a DOP kit that I'm going to be excited to continue to use for many trips to come. And then on the back, you have one mesh zippered pocket that's a little bit flatter since it shares the space with that main area, but still a good area for something slim like my Kindle e-reader. And then at the top of this section, you have what Goruck calls kind of their built-in field pocket. So it's a nice organizational area that actually has some nice volume here. So if you have something a little bit thicker, you should be able to store it here. I could probably fit the dot kit into here if I wasn't carrying all this other stuff that I have on the inside. So, you know, again, plenty of space even for some bulkier accessories such as a GoPro, which I have here. I also have a little manicure set that I like to carry with me. And then I have the Tom Bin Ghost Whale pouch that has just a lot of small EDC items. And then on the back of this compartment, you have some additional slip pockets to kind of hold smaller accessories that you don't want getting lost. So here on the left, you have a slimmer one, which is a great spot to hold something like the flashlight that I've been using. This one from Mech Army I featured in my recent EDC video. Incredibly bright, and I love how compact it is. Next to that, I have a little tin that's gonna have some Band-Aids and ointment. Always good to have while you're on the road. And then the last thing that I have here is a miniature tripod from Peak Design, which I've been testing out. This can attach to the back of your phone, and I just love how flat it packs down so that, you know, if you want to get a selfie or stand your phone up or take some video calls or something like that, it just has an excellent form factor. I'll be featuring this in a future video as well, but really great little accessory to have. And then just really love the amount of space that's offered in this pocket here at the top. And then on the lid of this compartment, you have some additional zippered pockets. Very similar to other GR2s that we've looked at on the channel. First thing I'll call out here, however, is the Huckberry and GR2 patch here. Really like this sort of aesthetic. Very nice to see the collaboration. And then at the bottom, you have a larger mesh zippered pocket. I like the orientation of this zipper as it allows you to access this area without fully opening the compartment if need be. And at the moment, what I currently have here is kind of my tech pouch. For traveling, I like to keep things a little bit simpler and lighter as far as my tech. So I've been using this accessory pouch from Topo Designs. This is a light version that was a collaboration with Huckberry as well. So it really just kind of helps keep things simple, save on weight. And then on the inside here, what I currently have is just all kind of my chargers and laptop accessories. So I have my mouse in there, the power brick, a cable, and then also a cable to charge my phone. And then at the top, you have an additional zipper pocket. This is kind of the top quick access pocket, the one that I access almost most regularly. And I like that this doesn't have mesh, so it's, you know, offers a little bit more kind of privacy for anything that you want to store in here. And what I currently have in this compartment, and I'm always impressed at the amount of volume that this has, both on the GR2 and the GR1 has kind of a similar compartment. And at the moment, what I have in here are some of the items that I will use most regularly. So I have a pair of sunglasses. These are the Walden River sunglasses, another item that I featured in my recent EDC video. Great accessory with a really slim case. And then I have my Apple AirPods, and I also just have a little battery bank that attaches to the back of my phone when I'm low on power. The last area that we're going to be taking a look at is the main compartment, which has a clamshell style opening so you can easily pack it out and see everything that's on the inside. This has always been one of my favorite things about Goruck bags, is this sort of packing layout, and it just has, you know, a really simple kind of bucket style compartment here that you can pack in with a ton of stuff. At 40 liters, I really wanted to push it to its limits to see how much I would be able to hold. And so jumping in, first thing that I have here is the double-sided packing cube that you've seen in a lot of my other travel bag videos. But then behind that, I have a few more packing cubes, which is more than what I would normally be able to pack out into a 35 liter or even other 40 liter bags. I mean, this really gives you a lot of space for its silhouette. At the top here, I have a smaller Peak Design packing cube. I'm finally in the Peak Design packing cube game. These are some of the most popular on the market, and after using these for a bit, I can definitely see why. They're compressible, they have a dirty closed compartment, they're very easy to open up, and they're extremely lightweight. So really have enjoyed using these, and I'm probably going to be switching to these going forward as my default packing cubes. And then I have the larger version of that as well. Again, compressed down. It's able to hold pretty much the same amount of stuff that you've seen in the other packing cubes that I featured in the past. Then next to that, I tossed in a packable rain jacket. Always good to have, particularly when traveling somewhere that's a little more tropical. And then at the bottom, I actually packed in a pair of boots, which again, I normally wouldn't pack into a travel backpack, particularly when I'm traveling with one bag, but I was just so impressed with how much space it had that I had to toss these in. The boots that I have here are a pair that I've been testing out recently, which are the Lems Boulder boot, but this is the mid edition, so they are a little bit shorter than the typical Boulder boots. Lems boots are, very popular in the travel community. I've tested out their Chukka boots in the past, but I was very intrigued by the aesthetic of these Boulder boots. I think they look great, whether you're going into the outdoors or even preparing with some chinos or jeans. They really feel like something I could walk around the city in. And they're super lightweight. That's one of the things that I've always loved about Lems shoes, is that they're a little bit more packable than many other sort of boot style footwear. And then they're just really comfortable to walk around in for a longer period of time, for going on a hike. So really have enjoyed testing these out so far, and absolutely love that I was able to fit them into this travel bag. I had them wrapped up in some plastic shoes, as it's always good to keep your dirty shoes away from the rest of your stuff. On the back of the compartment, very familiar to other GR2 bags that we featured. So you have this sort of slip pocket that's a little bit elastic. It can hold a ruck plate. Sometimes I'll put my tablet in there. But for traveling with so many kind of bulkier items, I tend to leave that a little bit emptier. And then although you don't have the molle webbing on the front, you do have this internal webbing here that you can use to pair with some of Goruck's pouches, or you can clip on additional EDC accessories that you might want to be able to access regularly. So nice layout here. And then on the lid, you have a few additional zippered pockets. There's so many pockets here, I sometimes don't even know what to put into all of them. And so you have one mesh zippered compartment that has the vertically oriented zipper, again, so that you can kind of access it from the side. Great spot to separate out toiletries, maybe some underwear and socks, a book, anything that you want to keep separate from this sort of larger compartment. And then at the top, you have one additional mesh zipper compartment that's a little bit smaller. And this is a great area for items that I might not access as regularly. So at the moment, I just have a field notes notebook, but this might be where I store my passport or other documentation while I'm traveling, to keep it a little bit more secure. So really love the amount of extra space offered in this version of the bag. I was able to pack out the main area with so much stuff that I might normally have to leave at home. And then I just really love that you still have the great organizational layout that we've come to know and love from the GR2, as well as the same durable build quality and minimal aesthetic. So if you're looking for a larger one bag travel solution that's going to give you a little bit more flexibility and that's going to fare well in pretty much any environment, this is going to be a fantastic option to check out. And so to wrap up, it's been a great experience testing out the Goruck GR2 over the past couple of weeks. You can currently purchase this on Huckberry for about $415. Goruck's bags always come in a little bit of a premium due to the quality of their materials, the features, and the fact that some of their bags are manufactured in the US, so it is a bit of an investment. However, if you are traveling with one bag and you need something reliable, or you like the general design of the bag, it may be worth the additional cost. And so as I was testing this out, the first bag this made me think of is the Evergood CTB35, which is a really solid one bag travel option. It comes in at 35 liters, so it's not quite as big as this bag, but it includes a lot of interesting features such as external water bottle pockets, an integrated waist belt, luggage pass-through. It's got some more organizational options, maybe not more, but a different organizational layout. Evergood has a really great kind of design sense for pockets and providing dedicated volume for everything that you might need. And so if you're looking for something that's going to have the same kind of durability and a really minimal vibe, but that's maybe not going to be quite as big, then that's going to be a solid option to consider. The next bag this made me think of is the Air Travel Pack 3. And Air's travel packs have been some of my favorites for many years now. They're one of my go-to travel packs, as they offer just the right amount of space and organization while giving you a really sleek, sort of modern aesthetic, very techy looking, tons of weather resistance. I really love the pocketing layout and some of the updates that were made on the latest version. It has a really great laptop compartment. You can add or remove a waist belt. So it really just checks off all the boxes for what you would want out of a travel pack. Very comfortable harness system. And at 35 liters, it's also not going to be able to hold quite as much as this. And I would say that the GR2, as far as durability, I would feel that it might hold up a little bit better over the longer term. But if you're looking to save a little bit of money and you just want a really excellent, versatile, and reliable travel pack, that's going to be one of the best options to check out. Another bag this made me think of is the Bellroy Transit Plus, which is a really sleek and modern looking travel pack that's a little bit bigger than some of the other options that I've mentioned. It comes in at 38 liters, so it's close in capacity to this. It doesn't have all these same organizational options that this has, but it still can hold a lot. It has a great laptop compartment that's suspended, well padded. It does have an interesting organizational layout, some quick access pockets. It has an integrated waist belt, which I'm not always a huge fan of, but if that's something that you're looking for, you do have it as part of that bag. Pretty breathable back panel and harness system. And it just has a really clean, modern look that, really feels like it's gonna match up well with a more professional outfit if you're doing some work travel. It's not really an EDC type size, but still it looks really sleek, modern, great build quality on Bellroy's bags. And if you're looking for something in that size range that's gonna have that sort of clean, sophisticated aesthetic, then that's gonna be a fantastic option to consider. And then the last option that I'll mention here is the Nomadic 40-liter travel bag. That's been one of my go-to larger travel bags over the past couple of years. Whenever I need a little bit more space, that's one of the ones that I use the most, as it comes in at 40 liters, so very similar in size to this. That one has a little bit more of a duffel style layout as opposed to a more pure kind of travel backpack, but it still does have backpack straps so you can wear it on your back. It has a removable waist belt. Nice organizational layout. I really love all the different pocketing options that it has. It has a separate shoe compartment, an area for all of your tech stuff, laptop and tablet sleeves. And if you like duffel style travel, you can place that down on the ground and just load it up. So a really interesting layout. I like the weather resistant and durable materials that are used on that. It was recently updated, but the original version that I have has held up well, still hasn't really shown any signs of damage or anything like that. So if you like more of a duffel style carry and you want something that's gonna be able to hold a ton and still give you plenty of organizational options, that's gonna be a solid option to consider. With that being said, the Goruck GR2 holds up really well against all those options. And if you have a little bit of a higher budget and you're looking for a bag that can hold anything that you might need to travel with and that's gonna hold up to pretty much any adventure that you throw at it, this is gonna be a fantastic option to check out. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you all think of the 40-liter GR2 and how it compares to some of the other popular travel bags that are currently on the market. And if there are any similar options that you think I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank Huckberry again for providing the bag and some of the gear that I featured throughout the video, and to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.